All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It is another fantastic Monday morning here at Health Plan Markets. Thank you guys very much for being on the call. It's 9 o'clock on September 29th, and we're off to the races. We've got quite a bit of things to cover this morning, so hang on tight. But I always like to start the call with why we are here. Us at Health Plan Markets, we are here to serve those that serve others, and that is you. You are our customer, and we know that you have a choice in agencies and FMOs, and we appreciate you choosing Health Plan Markets to serve you. And if there's ever anything we can do to improve our service, please let us know. We have an incredible team here. I'm very, very proud of the success and the accomplishments that the team has done this past year. And we're ready for war. So we're going out there for AEP 2026 and OE 2026. And we've got some great opportunities we're going to discuss later on in this call today. And very excited. So I've got my friends Nick Street and Mike Pope. If you can be on the lookout for Umer in about 14 minutes to pass him over the mic. He's going to talk to us about UH1 again. So excited about that. So let's go over to our training calendar here. I'm going to share my screen. And remember, guys, we always got to keep one foot in the classroom and the other one in the field at all times. And if I can get a thumbs up that you guys can see my screen, that would be awesome. We got a thumbs up. Anybody? There we go. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, so here's our home base. This is Rome. All roads lead to Rome. In HQ, I realize that a lot of the articles may have been posted a while back, and so what I'm going to start doing is kind of condensing this call here with all of the information that you need as an update in HQ as well. So if you prefer to read it, you don't have time to be on this call during AEP, it'll be a condensed version here on the homepage. So it'll live right under latest updates. And it'll have, hopefully some bullet points so you guys can kind of read quickly and then get on with your day. Also, I posted in the chat the link to our YouTube channel, which essentially is, a copy paste repeat of what this call is. So it is recorded in case you do have an issue where you can't be on the call. That's okay. I got a text this morning. People are already panicking. Hey, I can't make the call. I've got stuff to do. I've got meetings to go to. Totally get it, right? So don't panic. That is what's going on there. So just so you guys know, that is being recorded. So go out to the YouTube channel and subscribe. So that way you don't miss a call and you know exactly what's going on. So if you prefer to watch this later on the road, you can do that. Or if you prefer to, read about it, it'll be on HQ. So just wanted to point that out as well. So let's go down to our training calendar for the week. Go under learning, training calendar. Here we are. So I always like to go to week mode just because, this kind of looks crazy and I get anxiety right away. So here we go. I'm not going to go through all of these, but a couple of, high level ones are the rollouts. So here, it looks like Baycare is rolling out the Villages Market, or sorry, that's Blue Cross's rollout is in the Villages Market, Lakes, Marion, and Sumter counties. So if you're in that market, that makes sense. United Healthcare is doing a TRICARE for Life and VA opportunity training, and there's opportunities there. So that's always one that I'm really, really excited about because for how many veterans there are in the world, like there's very few agents that are tapping that market. And I will tell you that I met an agency owner that is based out of Utah, and his whole business model is just TRICARE for Life and VA. His whole business model, and he's one of the top producing agencies in the country. So it's amazing, and it's because nobody else wants to deal with it. So might be an opportunity for you there. And then Aetna's doing an AEP training today at 1. Business planning, very, very important. Check that out. Move over to the 30th, Gold Kidney. is doing their celebration rollout there. That's at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Spark is doing a training on their retention using Spark to stay ahead this AEP. Very important. We talked about that on the last call, so if you missed that, check that out. On Wednesday, big event at our office at Edgewater. Health First is handing out grab bags for lunch while you guys are kind of cruising and doing your thing. So if you're in the Orlando market, come on by our Edgewater office. It's 4004 Edgewater Drive in Orlando, and Health First will have a tent out front with sandwich grab bags. You don't even need to get out of your car. It's just you pull it up, drive through. They want to make sure that the very first day of pre-AEP, you're already meeting with clients. We want to grab lunch for you. So we appreciate Health First partnership. Super generous of them to do that. So just swing on in at noon on Wednesday if you're in Orlando, and we've got a free sandwich grab bag. Very cool. Thursday, we've got UHC. The dual special needs plans are being covered at noon on Thursday, so check that out. And then Friday, if you have any questions about HPM Shop, Tom Ryan is at your disposal October 3rd. There's been quite a bit of changes in HPM Shop 2026. So if you haven't been in there, highly recommend you do that before you start, dancing around and running quotes and doing apps and that kind of thing. Okay, so it's important. I do have a quick update regarding our office. We did have some kind of issue there with a leak. So the team is on top of it. So if you're coming in to work, it might be a little hectic. In fact, there's going to be a skeleton crew there. So we do not recommend you showing up to the office to do any work. The only time you should come to the office this week specifically is on Wednesday to grab that Health First bag. But again, you don't have to come in. It's a drive-by situation. So if you're planning to come in, do phone calls or whatever you're doing there, probably go ahead and call ahead to the office. It's 844-696-3975. We want to make sure that that somebody's there for you, and we're not going to have an issue with that specifically. So if there's any more details on that, Mike or John, if you want to share, you can put them in the chat. Appreciate that. But essentially, no need to come to the office this week. We've got a little bit of cleanup that we've got to do from a leak. So that's there. I want to share with you guys a couple of tools this morning that I find essential in my day-to-day, and I wish I had as an agent. And this might be a little rudimentary for some of you, but I find it really important that you kind of know about it. So this is appointment scheduling, and there's several different apps out there that do appointment scheduling. There's Calendly, there's Motion. I've used Motion for myself, and there's different ones, right? But most of us have a Google Calendar. It's one of the world's most popular calendars, especially if you're an Android user. It just makes a lot of sense. So thanks to Bud, he showed me this. He had set up a Google Calendar for appointment scheduling, and essentially what it does is you go through this page here, and I'll drop the link in just a second, and you set up your Google Calendar for appointment sets. So that way, you can create one booking page. This is for free, so obviously you can upgrade to the business standard if you want to. Totally up to you. Not really necessary, but you're not doing paid appointments anyway. So you create one booking page, and all of the data and everything is there. So essentially what it does is it gives your clients a link. You can send them a link, and they can choose what days and times you're available, and it automatically goes right into your Google Calendar. So it creates a booking page for you, and then it links to your calendar. You set the days and times that you're available, and then they just go out and pick and choose, what's available, and they put in all their appointment details and all of the above. So really cool free thing that I found out there. Again, this is just one of them, but it just syncs and links right into your calendar with Google. So I thought that was really cool. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat here as well. There we go. So you can check that out. And Google's coming out with all sorts of cool stuff, AI. But if you're living in that universe, which I am doing, it makes a lot of sense to have some free tools or tools that you're kind of already integrated with. So makes sense there. The other tool I wanted to share with you guys is called Loom, and I've been using this for quite some time, a couple years. And if you've been around HPM, you've probably seen some of the Looms where you have me as a bubble in the corner talking, and then it's a screen share video. So I wanted to share this with you because this is another free tool up to a certain point. If I remember correctly, you get about a 5-minute video for free, so you can make 5-minute videos, and you do screen shares. So one of our agents, Liz, got really creative, and she said, "Hey, I want to go through the basics of what's happening in 2026 for Medicare," and so she made a video and she ran it by us for compliance, and looked good. There was no benefits. She wasn't talking about benefits or anything like that. What AEP was, what were the dates, what they should be looking for this year, the difference between Medicare and Medicaid, and that kind of thing. And then she texted all of her clients a link to this video so they can watch it on their phone. So Loom allows you to do this on your phone. But there it is. So you have like a video of yourself, and then you're sharing your screen. It's super easy to use. There's no upload download. It's really fast. You can do it from your phone if you prefer. But she wrote a great script and shot the video and sent it out to her clients, and they absolutely ate it up. They loved it. In addition to that, you can also have a link in your video, and I'll see if they have a copy of it. But just go out to loom.com, and the link at the top of the video allows you to go ahead and click to book an appointment. So they would click and they would go right to your Google Calendar to set an appointment. So you can send out a video and reach your clients that way. Remember, your clients are expecting you to communicate with them. They're not going to reach out to you necessarily. So remember, it is to remind your clients what you do. It is not your client's job to remember you. It is your responsibility to remind them of what you do. Okay. So go back out there. This is another tool that you can use. Again, it's free for the first 5-minute video. If you want to go beyond that, it's got other features. You can totally sign up for that too. I do meetings, and this is a huge tool for me. I thought that I would share it with you as far as how that works. So check that out. The last thing that I have for today is just a quick reminder about Gold Kidney. Gold Kidney is a Medicare Advantage plan that is doing business in Florida and Arizona. So they're growing quite quickly, and they're specifically for chronic conditions, especially those that have ESRD. Unfortunately, they have announced that they are closed after October 15th, and then they will reopen it on January 2nd. So why am I telling you this? Because this is your last chance for romance. If you have bumped into people that have end-stage renal disease or kidney failure, this is probably the only plan in the market that can serve them in that capacity. So if you've bumped in to a few of these people, or you want to make sure that you have this in your portfolio just in case, you have until the 15th to get contracted. Okay, so you can find that contract by going into HQ. We'll go back to the homepage here just to show you. You're going under contracting, all carriers, and you can either scroll down to find Gold Kidney, like so. There it is right there. Or you can go back up to the top and just search here, Gold, give it a second, and there it is. So you'll click Get Started here on the bottom. And then if you're already contracted with Gold Kidney, you would click Transfer Existing Contract with, so that way you're aligned with HPM. And there's instructions on how to do that here. So that'll pop up in a second. There it is. So you can request, or if you want to start a new contract, you can do that. You cannot transfer or start a new contract after October 15th, and they will not be open again until after January 2nd. So I'd like to thank Sam for a huge heads up on that. We didn't want to get to October 15th and you guys are running into people that you're like, hey, wait a minute, this plan would have been perfect for them. I need a contract, and then you can't get it. So consider this your warning here. Just want to make sure that you guys have that. All right, a couple questions in the chat before I hand it over to Umer. So John or Mike, if you can set up Umer as a presenter. We appreciate that. I'm going to go through the questions here. A couple of thank yous. Thanks, guys. Will's asking, are Google and Loom HIPAA compliant? And Mike is responding that Google, yes, if you have a paid account. Loom, no, as they are unable to sign BAAs. So just know that. However, Loom allows you to secure the URL exclusively to that client, keeping communication secure. And the link to Loom is loom.com. It's pretty easy. So there you go. You can click that to sign up. And I think there's other asynchronous platforms as well, but this is the one that has just been amazing. So check that out. But again, you know, even if some of these things are HIPAA compliant, I really wouldn't put personal client information in a video. And remember that as far as Loom is concerned, you definitely want to make sure that if you are explaining benefits to a client specifically, that you already have a scope of appointment. It doesn't matter if it's pre-recorded. It does not matter in that regard. So just keep that in mind. Mike and John is reminding us that we have some additional training dates. Shop training September 30th at 3 p.m. and then again on October 2nd at 12:30 p.m. He's adding the training links to the calendar. So remember, you can go back into HQ, click learning, click the training, and we'll get rolling on that. And Mike's got it posted here as well with the link. Why do you want to have shop training? Is so you can see all the cool benefits or the cool little features that rolled out this year for 2026. So there we go. So I see Umer is on the call. Can you hear me, Umer?
Yes, I can.
There he is. I can hear you. I don't see you yet. I don't know if you're going to do a screen share. Oh, there he is. He's in his New York hat. Love it.
I just came from the gym, so.
Oh, all good, man. All good. Thanks for being on the call. So again, Umer Khan is our partner with United Health One, and he is tasked with giving you the good news about UH1. Don't forget to talk about the bonus that just rolled out too, Umer, because I thought that was pretty interesting. And I know that you have seen a lot of interest in UH1, and some folks have shown interest. And you know, in my opinion, I think that this is a perfect time to talk about ancillary. And for you, you know, getting ready for the season, you have some great techniques and strategies. So if you can just introduce yourself again, because we got some new folks here, and then, you know, from the top, what's UH1? Why should they care about it? And what is it going to do for their clients this year?
Yes, thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate that. So yeah, good morning, everybody. Monday, everybody's favorite day of the week. So my name is Umar, and if you don't know me already, I am with HPM on United Healthcare Golden Rule. United Healthcare Golden Rule is a wonderful carrier that is mainly focused on ancillaries. So unlike the other carriers that we are all used to working with, right, the ACA carriers and the Medicare carriers, United Healthcare Golden Rule is basically aimed to add supplements to your ACA policy as well as your Medicare Advantage policies. So United Healthcare Golden Rule has supplements for Medicare Advantage plans. So if you write Medicare and you're in that space, right, we have large co-payments such as hospitalization, emergency room visits, you know, skilled nursing facilities. So there are products on there that we have spoken about, and we have training links for that I'm happy to share with you on, in which they supplement the larger co-payments. As far as ACA, there are plenty of products for that, such as accident policies, critical illness policies. We see with the big, beautiful bill and a lot of changes coming to the ACA market, the new maximum out of pocket will go from $9,200 to $10,600. That's a huge increase from the previous years. So when you have a $10,600 maximum out of pocket, there's a strong chance that your client is not going to be satisfied with that. So what do we do with those clients? We can offer them a accident policy that will take care of their maximum out of pocket, as well as a critical illness policy, which are arguably the two biggest reasons they will reach their max, an accident being number one, and number two being a critical illness. You can also put those policies on Medicare Advantage plans. United Healthcare also has dental and vision policies. Their dental and vision policies are exceptionally good, mainly because they do not have waiting periods. So a common thing that we see on the dental and vision are waiting periods where you have to wait 6 to 12 months at times to get a root canal. Or even on the Medicare Advantage space, we see a new trend, or at least I see as a broker, that a lot of the carriers that we work with, their dental plans are getting very, very, very minimal and moving more towards from comprehensive to just preventative. So we have a lot of clients that are hanging with comprehensive coverage, and they need root canals and implant coverage, right? How many of you guys have had people that say, we're the implant coverage on this plan, for example? So United Healthcare will have implant coverage. They will have major benefits and basic benefits from day number one. Policies do not require a special election period, which is great. I know we're moving into the season, so we're going to get a lot of these questions. And previously, we've had many agents where they leave their clients hanging because they don't know what to offer. So this is also another golden opportunity to offer this product alongside the Medicare supplements, the Advantage Guard, the accident, and the criticals. There is a bonus running, just like Justin mentioned. So I'm going to share my screen here really quickly. And I wanted to go through this. Can you guys see my screen okay?
It looks like it's loading. Yep, we're good.
Beautiful. So short-term and tri-term is back. That's the main topic. That's a very big update I wanted to provide here today. Short-term and tri-term is a product that we used to have last September. It actually was taken away from the Biden-Harris administration. From the 12-month term, it was shortened to only 4 months. So now with the new administration, we are back at a 12-month term and also a 3-year term with the tri-term. So this bonus is revolved around the comeback, because we have a comeback coming here with the tri-term. So bonus is very simple and easy. As long as you write 20 applications that are eligible for the bonus, you are already in, and you're going to get paid bonuses from the first app all the way to the last. This bonus is running from September 1st all the way through December 31st. So for the rest of the year, basically. And how the bonus works is pretty much any of these products that you write, the Advantage Guard, which is the supplement to the Medicare Advantage policies, right? And accident is in here. Critical illness is in here as well. You will get these bonuses shown on the screen as long as you have the payment method as an EFT. So a lot of people ask me, why is United Healthcare incentivizing EFT over credit card payments? Because statistically, our clients that have a checking account or a savings account on the policy, even with ACA, even with Medicare, they're more likely to be retained, because credit cards get declined, credit cards can get stolen, they can get lost, right? These things happen very less with checking or savings account. So in order for you to help your client in retention, you're also incentivized by these bonuses. So as long as you write 20 applications that are eligible, then you'll get paid from the bonus moving forward. Now, a little bit on the short-term and tri-term. Let me hide my screen here. So a little bit on the short-term and tri-term. Short-term and tri-term were revealed back to us this past Monday, last week. And short-term and tri-term, if you're not familiar with, it's kind of like ACA, but not ACA. Okay, so it does have some restrictions regarding pre-existing conditions are not covered, maternity is not covered, and mental health things are not covered. But what short-term does is it is aimed to basically provide you coverage with a deductible system, kind of like the marketplace, but without having to deal with subsidies, without having to deal with taxes, and without having to deal with immigration. So we have a lot of clients that are going to be left hanging with this big, beautiful bill in terms of what are their visa statuses, and a lot of them are going to be removed off the marketplace. What do we do with those clients? Instead of leaving them hanging, we can provide short term to them, or we can provide tri-term to them, which is tri-term is the same thing as short term, but in a 3-year format. And so what that will do is that'll give them a deductible based coverage. They would have around 5 options: a $2,500 deductible, a $5,000 deductible, 7,500, 10, and 15. So it's according to their budget. The 15,000 is the cheapest because that's the highest deductible, and the 2,500, which is a very strong option, is a little bit more on the expensive side. But how that works is whatever deductible they choose, they basically, once they reach that deductible, they will have 100% coverage. So it's kind of like ACA, as long as the exclusions do not apply to you. So as long as you don't have maternity, pre-existing conditions, or mental health stuff, if you can put them on there. They don't ask about immigration, right? They don't require a social security number to be on there as well. And you also do get the United Healthcare PPO network. So we do have Advent Health, Orlando Health on there. We also have big facilities like Mayo Clinic, right? The only carrier I believe on the marketplace that accepts Mayo Clinic is Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO. So that's a very, very solid competitor to that. The rates are significantly cheaper for people who don't get subsidy. So we've seen, for example, somebody without subsidy, their rate on the marketplace can be around $500 to $600. On short term, we can get them as low as maybe 300, 400, or even lower if you increase the deductible. I will be having a webinar on this that I announced on our last in-person advisor meeting last Thursday. So I wanted to announce it here as well. And Justin, if we can add this to the training calendar, that would be great. So Wednesday at 12:30, we're going to go in depth about short-term and tri-term. And we're going to go through the plans together and see how we can use that as a supplement to the ACA for people who are no longer eligible for subsidy. And with all the tax credit cuts that are coming, a lot of changes that are going to be leaving our people hanging. And that's what United Healthcare is here for, to basically help those people not hang anymore and have some type of coverage.
Awesome. So a couple things, just a quick cleanup. If you click the stop share button, because you're still showing your screen there.
I apologize.
There you go. No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Awesome. One thing, if you guys are interested in contracting with United One Golden Rule, it's open for contracting. You can email us at contracting@askhpm.com, or just simply go into HQ, click, just like I showed you before, like how to search for golden or gold kidney. You're going to click UH1, and then all the information is there. It flows nicely. We got all that fixed up. Again, check the training calendar later today. John, if you can make sure that we get that added to the training calendar and the link, and then join Umer on that training 12:30 on Wednesday. We went through the bonuses. That's great. So there, I mean, this is great money to make as an agent. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the biggest thing that I would say personally, and I want to get your feedback on this too, Umer, the last couple of years has been really volatile in both Medicare and ACA. And I see ancillary products as the answer to the question, like, why do I have to go back out in AEP every year and switch my members because the dental shifted from $1,000 to $200, or now the give back plan has a $500 copay at the hospital, or the deductible went extremely high now. And after you introduce me to these products and you're like, look, this is how you kind of simmer down the volatility. It means, like, in my mind, like, you don't have to go chase your clients around every year because these plans shift their benefits. Like taking an extra 10, 15 minutes and explaining a product like hospital indemnity not only locks in your client with retention, but it now prevents you from having to run around and fix these problems next year, because if they shift the benefits, your client is kind of like immune to that. So can you give a little bit more, like that's the biggest value that I see in, like, why you guys need to be offering ancillary?
Absolutely. And exactly like you said, number one, it creates stickiness. So for example, when one of my clients, we get a lead here in our agency, what we do is we try to give each client at least 2 to 3 products minimum. So when somebody has an ACA policy and they're left hanging with a very large maximum out of pocket, number one, you're helping the client, right?
Mhm.
Number two, you're creating stickiness with the client. And number three, it's very good commissions for you. So it's a win-win situation for everybody, right? Your client, which is not being offered these products by other agents. You as an agent are offering these products, showing that you're kind of like, doing everything, the full 360 coverage. And you're basically showing them an issue that they were not aware of having a large maximum out of pocket. And with all these changes coming, we're not worried about it, because if they have a problem and they're no longer receiving subsidy, we can move them over to short term, right? We can move them over to tri-term products, right? If their maximum out of pocket goes higher, we can put an accident and critical illness policy on there, right? If their dental coverage is going lower, we're not worried about that because they already have dental coverage as a standalone, right? So with all of these changes in the market, United Healthcare Golden Rule is kind of there to help and cushion their benefits. So even if there's changes in the market, they're not really realizing it because they have these products to supplement what's becoming worse in the coming years, if that makes sense.
I mean, you're basically making them immune to a lot of this volatility that's happening in the market. So you're protecting your book of business, you're making those relationships deeper. And studies have shown, like, when a person has two or more products with you, they are 75% more sticky on your book of business than anything else. And then if you go three, it's even higher than that, and four, on and on, right? Like, so stacking those products makes a lot of sense. I mean, in my mind, like Medicare Advantage, hospital indemnity, dental right out of the gate, and then even like a cancer plan, because that's a cash, incentive for them. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I always go back to that example of, like, if you're in a room full of like 500 people and you say, raise your hand if you or someone has had cancer, and literally everyone in the room will raise their hand. And the sad part is nobody's got a cancer plan, and it's like super cheap. And you're like, what are you doing? you know? So,
Absolutely.
um,
And a lot of people don't realize when you have a cancer policy, right? There's a lot of points that you can give to your client, right? Like for example, somebody does get cancer, are they going to be missing work? Probably, right? So that money that you're getting from the cancer policy, because a lot of people can argue that, well, I have medical insurance for that reason. But sure, you have medical insurance, but what about the time that you're off of work, right? What about the network that you have? For example, if you write somebody on the marketplace on an Oscar policy, right, you have to abide by Oscar's network, right? What if you have a cancer doctor sitting in New York, where you have a marketplace plan that's in Florida? You can take your cancer policy money and go to New York. You can take your cancer policy money and go to another country, right? You're basically buying coverage in the entire world. You don't have to go to Google and search up best cancer doctor in Florida or best cancer doctor in America. I've heard stories where people are best cancer doctor in the world. If that doctor is sitting in
mm,
Thailand, you take your $100,000 cancer money and you go out in Thailand and do it where the currency is cheaper, for example, right?
mm,
So there's lots of points there. You're missing work, right? Every single day, every single week that you're out of work, you're losing money. How are you going to financially support yourself? Medical insurance is there to support you on your medical need. Cancer policies, accident policies, they go beyond that. So it's our
mm.
job to basically express this to the client and let them know that this is something that maybe they haven't thought about, which is going to help them in the future. And like we said, create the stickiness so you have a more higher retention rate. And another statistic is that I believe United Healthcare did a presentation, and in their presentation, I think it was about 67%, where essentially agents who are offering ancillary products, they have about a 60 to 70% success rate. The problem is
Mm,
that agents, they just don't offer it. So that's
mm.
why agents are not selling it, because they're not offering it. As long as you offer it, you will have a pretty good success rate on that when you identify a problem and provide a solution to it.
Yeah, you can't hit a home run if you don't swing, right? So,
Absolutely. You miss all
yeah,
the shots you don't take.
yeah, you got your Yankees hat on, so I'm using my baseball analogies right now. But like, so, and this is interesting too. Like, if you bat a 500 in baseball, you'll make it to the Hall of Fame, and that means that you hit the ball 50% of the time. So Like, I mean, that's ridiculous if you really think about it, you know? Like if you swing and you ask a client every time for an additional product and half of them say yes, you're in the Hall of Fame, you know? So like, I mean, that
Absolutely.
it makes a lot of sense. I know we're short on time, and Umar and I are going to be doing more of these things. He's going to be doing trainings. I still want to do our podcast. I still want to do our deep dive training into ancillary products in general. One last point, and then we have some questions in the chat. On HPM Shop, United One is one of the only products that you can simply tack on to the end of your application for Medicare. So I know you and your team have kind of done a little bit of that. Can you talk through about like the ease of use and that kind of thing?
Yes, absolutely. So with Advantage Guard, right, which is kind of like our golden product here because we have a lot of Medicare agents on this call, and so for whoever writes Medicare here, you know, it's just basically like an extra step. That's it. You did your entire policy on HPM Shop, right? You've already put in their demographic, their zip code, right? You've also put in their information like their name, everything. So you already did the application. You're already doing it, right? All you have to do is just press the add button. So there's a hospital indemnity section on HPM Shop. You just click on that section, and as soon as you click on it, you will have access to United Healthcare's Advantage Guard. And then from there, you can pick and choose. Wait a minute, on this Freedom plan, this is the copayment for sleeping in the hospital, and you have this copayment for 5 days. How do we offset that? You just add in, okay, the copayment's $200, so you add in the $200 reimbursement for 5 days. So it's as if the client is going and, on the front end, they have to pay their copayment to Freedom or United or, whatever the carrier is. And then on the back end, they will get reimbursed those copayments. And it's very easy. You just click add, add it to the application. That's it on
I think
HPM
there's like
Shop.
there's like a yellow button at the top that like calls out add a hospital indemnity plan too. So it's like
Yeah,
super
exactly.
easy. Yeah. So again, we're going to spend a lot of, or we're going to have other sessions on this, guys. And again, Umar is your guy. So Umar, if you don't mind putting your contact info in the chat, just in case for
Yes.
everybody. And then I'm going to ask some questions of you. There's a couple questions. Is there a fee to contract with UH1? Is there a cost to get contracted with UH1? And there is. And then if you can address that.
Yeah, so there is a cost. It depends on the state you're trying to get contracted in. Here in Florida, it is about a $60 fee. I know it's not something that we're used to with other carriers, but it's definitely worth it, right? And United Healthcare does put a offsetter on there. They give you a little bit of a bonus. So the first time you do get contracted and pay that fee, you have about a 60-day window to write any product, and then they will give you a $100 bonus. So any product you write 2 of them, you can write 2 vision products for all they care. As long as you write 2 products within the first 60 days of getting contracted, they will throw a $100 bonus at you, and that's there to offset that $60 fee.
Perfect. Yeah. And it's nothing, guys. And again, Umar will show you exactly like how to approach these products within your sales funnel and during your presentation. And he has a way of like how he actually talks through it. So like you kind of got a hint of that, of like, hey, that hospital copay is a little bit high, but I'm going to show you a way that we can get rid of that. So there's a way to like, you kind of like foreshadow that conversation. And then when you get to the end of the app, you say, okay, now remember that high copay, let's go ahead and tackle that. So he'll show you exactly how to do that. All right, so other questions here. Am I compliant if I offer these plans during an MAPD appointment with an SOA? And so I'll tackle that one. On the
Sure.
SOA, there is a checkbox for hospital indemnity. So you can check that box on the SOA. If they show interest during the application, you'll just need to send them another SOA that says, hey, I agreed to talk about the hospital indemnity plan. But remember, there's not a cool off period. There's no SEPs. So if you're like, hey, I'm kind of in a rush, or, you don't want to deal with that, you really don't need a scope of appointment for hospital indemnity, but to like double check your MAPD, yeah, I would go ahead and get another SOA or make sure that it's added in that product during that presentation. So that way there's no like confusion in case something happens. But if you want to meet them like the next day, or jump on a call to like add that product in, you don't have to wait or get another SOA for that product. So just know that. And again, Umer will go through the compliance on that when he talks about the plans in detail. Is this product available in Georgia? That's a yes, right, Umer?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It is. It's in actually most of the states. So Georgia is on that list.
Yeah, I would. The commissions vary per state,
They do.
and products vary per state. So just make sure that you pay attention to that. He'll get you connected with a local manager if you need that. But Umer can walk you through all that stuff too. So it's not that bad.
Yeah,
Richard's asking, sorry, go ahead.
sorry. No, I was gonna say, and the good thing on that is that the commissions on these products, if we really quickly touch base on that, they're really, really high. So it's good. Like on the Advantage Guard, it's 55% of the premium. So as an example, if you write a $300, or I'm sorry, $30 premium, right? Then you're gonna get 55% of that per month. So it's the commission structures, no matter what state it is, they're really, really high. So I would highly recommend you look into the commission schedule. You can have access to that while you're getting contracted, or please reach out to me and I'm happy to send that over to you as well.
Awesome. A couple more questions here. Let me get to them. I'm going to post just on this other side of the chat here, your info there. It says, do you have to write a policy within a certain time or else you'll lose your contracting? Because I know that there's if you have zero production per se, some carriers do say, hey, look, we're going to term you for no production. So does that happen with UH1?
That's a good question, actually. I would have to double check on that. I want to say no, but don't quote me on that. I would have to double check. And who had that question?
It was Georgia. So
Georgia. Okay, I can get an answer for you, and we'll reach back out to you on that and to double check.
Okay, great. Yeah, Mike, if you can shoot that into a support ticket, that would be helpful. And then we'll get. I'm pretty sure there's not, because I've met lots of agents that have UH1. So. Yeah, there's like tons of agents that have UH1 and they haven't sold anything ever. And I'm like, where are you guys? So they paid for it and then just never did anything with it. And some of you guys might have it because you clicked an email like 5 years ago and you just never did anything with it. So if that's the case, then you'll need to transfer your contract over and we can help you with that too. So you can email us at contracting@askhpm.com. We'll get you lined up. Tina's asking, can we change the start date for Advantage Guard to start later than the next day? I didn't see it.
Yes, you can. You can. So yes. You can write pretty much any policy. I believe I think there's one policy where you can write where it's basically 5 days out. But other than that one product, every single product, you can write it as early as of next day effective, or you can choose whatever date you would like. So if you would want to write it out for 4 months later, you absolutely can. You would just have to specify that on the application, like December 1 effective, and it'll go into effect December 1st.
Awesome. Leanna is asking, how do these plans pay out claims? Can you go through that in a high level?
Yes. So the claims process is very simple. I've actually ran it for a couple of my clients, and they've gotten paid very good money on that. How that works is there are mainly two things needed to file the claim. And it's very simple. I have a 2-minute video on this, as a matter of fact, that shows the process of how to basically file the claim. And how that works is on the members portal, there's a section that says submit a claim. You just click on that button and it'll show all of the products that they have. So if they have a critical illness policy, it'll be there. If they have a Medicare Advantage Guard policy, it'll be there. So you're going to click on the product that you're filing a claim for, and it'll populate claim forms. And so the form is very simple. It's just asking, like on a critical illness one, it'll ask you, was it a stroke, or was it cancer, or was it a heart attack, or whatever it was. So the claim form is just there for you to explain to the insurance company what you're filing the claim for. That's the first thing needed. The second thing needed is the diagnostic codes. So for any claim, doesn't matter what it is, we always like for the client to provide the diagnostic codes to us so that we can submit that in their portal. The diagnostic codes, if you ask the hospital, by law, they have to give it to you. They cannot refuse not giving you your itemized bill and your diagnostic codes. So as a cushion, I asked for an itemized bill, but one thing that's non-negotiable is the diagnostic code. The consumer has to be responsible to ask that from the hospital, and the hospital, legally, they have to send that to the client. And as long as you can get that from the client, you submit it in the portal with the claim forms, you should be able to get the money paid out, as long as it's all within the policy guidelines.
And I know you go through that in your trainings and, in
Absolutely.
detail. So that's super helpful. It looks like Susan wants to know the answer to that. I'll make sure that we find out about the termination for non-production. I'm pretty sure
Absolutely.
it's not an
I'm
issue,
pretty
but
sure it's not. I'm like 90,
yeah,
95% sure it's
me
not.
too.
But
Me too.
I've never actually asked that question to United, so I
Yeah.
want to double check for sure.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that I have the answer for everybody on the next Monday call. So I'll announce it as well, just so you guys have it. Jessica's saying the transfer form is in HQ. So when you click United One, you'll just go and you'll click transfer, and the form is right there, and all the instructions are right there. Mike, if you could just have eyes on that to make sure that that's flowing right, because we built it out and we just want to make sure that that's working in key. Or if you just want to simply send an email to contracting@hpm.com, we'll get you linked and synced on that as well.
Also, really quickly on that transfer form, I also wanted to explain. So many agents do have a contract with United Healthcare, but they're direct. So when you have a direct contract with United Healthcare, they put you on a lower commission schedule. So us as an agency, we have a higher commission schedule. Like, I'll give you an example. If you're direct with United on short-term policies, you get like 15% commission. But automatically, when you're under HPM, we will give you 24% commission, because us as a whole, we're on a higher commission schedule. And so there are multiple products like that. I know for the hospital indemnity, it's like 4% more. With the dental, I believe there's more, and the accident, there's a couple of them. So the commission schedule will be higher because of our production as a whole.
Thanks for that. And that's like one of the rare instances where the commission is different, whether you go direct or not direct, and it's better. So it's better to work with us than going direct. And obviously you're going to have Umar, who's going to be walking you through how to do this. And it's really like kind of like riding a bike. You do it a couple times and you guys are on your own. Like we have agents that produce like 20, 30 apps right out of the gate, and so that's like easy money. So that was really cool. Dave Sherrill, thank you. He says companies that charge the licensing fee to the agent aren't generally going to term for non-production. So Dave, thanks for that. And that's why we were saying we were like kind of 95% sure, because they pay for it. But we'll double check just in case. Esther's asking, what age would this be good for? This is for all ages, really. I mean, there's products for everybody, but the hospital indemnity specifically is it's Advantage Guard, by the way, because Liana asked, like, what's the name of the product specifically is Advantage Guard. That's for anybody that has Medicare. So if you have Medicare, that links and syncs perfectly with your Advantage plans. Yeah, and so like you don't have to sign them up when you sign them up for the Medicare Advantage plan. So this is a great opportunity. So like, here's another example. Have you ever felt that you went out to a client's house and then they're like, you know what, I'm just going to stay with what I have. And you spent 2 hours going through stuff and you feel like you want to jump through their window. Like, this is an opportunity to shift that and be like, hey, you know what? We didn't get a chance to talk about hospital indemnity or cancer plans or dental plans. While I'm here, let's get that done too. So you're not walking out of the house with like, a vain effort. You know what I mean? Like, so you still have an opportunity to gain, you're creating retention, but most importantly, the client is better protected, which is at the name of the game here, guys. Like, just always do what's best for the client. So you want to kind of close on that, Umar?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going to be helpful to the client, because unfortunately you're not going to get the 100,000. The client will. So, whatever policy you write to them, it's only going to be beneficial to them, right? And the Advantage Guard, the hospital indemnity that you're talking about, that one specifically is aimed to eliminate all or some of the major co-payments that you have. Like, inpatient hospital is a huge co-payment across all Medicare carriers, right? Emergency room is, I believe, $100 plus on every carrier. So Advantage Guard is basically there to eliminate that, right? If they're sleeping in the hospital on a PPO plan, it's like $350 for the first 7 nights. That's really, really expensive. Advantage Guard will pay them $350 for the first 7 nights. So even if they had a hospital visit for a 5-6 night stay, they won't have to pay anything because they will get reimbursed that money. And number one, like Justin said, it's going to be very good for the client. And number two, the commission structure on that is really good. So it's also good for your book of business. One thing we have seen is that previously an agent needs X amount of clients to have a certain level of income. Now you can do that in half, because if each of your client you're giving 2 to 3 products, then your commissions are also higher as well. There's been times, and no exaggeration, because it's 55% commission on the Advantage Guard, there's been multiple times where I've wrote Advantage Guard and the commission is higher than the Medicare Advantage policy itself. So instead of walking out with $300 commission, I would walk out with $600-700 commission just because I put on an Advantage Guard on there and it helped the client and also doubled my commission.
Yeah, we're gonna have a whole session on like planning and strategy, guys, and this
There's
really
so
ties
much,
into that. Yeah, there really is. So again, reach out to Umer. His contact information is in the chat. Again, he's hosting a training on Wednesday at 12:30. We're gonna have the link inside the training calendar, so check back later on today for that. And then if you did sign up to get information from Umer, and you haven't reached back out, this is a perfect opportunity for you to do that. He's willing to do some one-on-ones to get you off and running on these products. But the first thing is you got to get contracted. So please go into HQ, click UH1, or email us at contracting@askhpm.com and we'll get you set up. Umer, thank you very, very much for being on the call. We went 20 minutes over, which shows that there's huge interest in this. So we have to keep chipping away. And really we're doing some great work for the clients and all of you guys clients. Don't leave money on the table, but definitely most importantly, don't leave your clients exposed. I mean, this is a great opportunity to show your skill set and do what's right for your clients. So again, Umer, thanks again, buddy. I really appreciate it. And
thank you so much.
I would say,
and my information's in the chat. If I know it's a lot of information, but it's all good. Anybody who needs help, anybody who's looking for a one-on-one, please feel free to reach out to me, send me a text message, or just give me a call. I'm here. That's what I'm here for, to help you guys and guide you through this product and make sure we don't leave any clients hanging. Thank you guys so much.
You got it. And John, thanks for the reminder. This is the last call before pre-AEP. AEP starts this week, guys. October 1st is here. Can't believe it. And again, I'm posting our YouTube channel there just in case that you miss a call or miss a training. It will be posted there for your information, as well as on HQ. We want to make sure that you guys have it so you're successful. Thanks again, Umer. Thank you everyone for being on the call. We'll see you next Monday, 9 o'clock. Have a fantastic day.